Hi, everyone. This is Madhuri from National Skills Network. And for most of you, I'm sure you would have heard about the importance of green, following things that are green, clean energy, caring for environment. And I think each one of us is a contributor here, and we are responsible global citizens. And in this context, you would have heard about electric vehicles playing an absolutely important role in, saving the harm that is happening around us, right? So we have an expert today with us who's going to talk about the importance of training in the electric vehicles. So I would like to introduce you to Rajeev YSR, who is the founder CEO of Electric Vehicle Masterclass. Actually, it's called EV Masterclass. So the master is here, and it's not going to be a class. Don't worry. We are going to have a chat with him, a casual one. So Rajiv, welcome to this talk. And I'm so glad to reconnect with you after quite a while. And let me get started by asking you about the need for training and how do you see the industry unfolding, the way, the pace at which it's growing, the talent wars we hear about in the electric vehicle industry.
Yeah. So first of all, Madhuri, thank you very much for having me here. Such an amazing job you're doing through National Skills Network. I vividly remember how we met during my Gati days. At the time, Gati was the last mile, even now, Gati is the last mile delivery partner for IKEA. And we were to deliver the products of IKEA through electric vehicles. We were the first movers or pioneers in the country. We are talking about 2018, almost 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Nobody existed then. And that was when I was looking for people, talent, who have exposure to electric vehicles, servicing, delivery, etc. And I found it extremely hard to find the talent. I think that was the origin of this particular problem, Madhuri.
Okay.
I've been noticing this particular problem even more closely. Then I had an opportunity to interact with Tarun Mehta, who is the founder CEO of Ether, Pankaj Sharma, the founder CEO of Log9 Materials, Ms. Sulaja Firodia Motwani, the founder CEO of Kinetic Green, Amitabh Sir, the founder CEO of Alti Green. I was talking to different leaders of the companies, and when I was exchanging these thoughts that somehow the talent scarcity exists for EVs, without blinking an eye, all the leaders, right, empathize and acknowledge that, yes, that's a problem, but just because we have other bigger problems, we are not solving this, but that's a problem. Then I went a little deeper, Madhuri. Why is such kind of scarcity of talent?
Yeah.
Then when I've realized that, see, so far the automobile industry has been only going through an incremental transition, right? BS1 to BS2, BS2 to BS3, BS3 to BS4, and then now BS6. So during the incremental transition, what happens is the main schema of the vehicle remains the same. Your engines remain the same, your gearbox, your clutch, your powertrain, everything remains the same. Just that there are certain incremental design changes, etc., which probably increase the efficiency and reduce the pollution. But when it comes to electric vehicles, while both of them are automobile, the only common thing between both of them is all of them have wheel, suspension, and steering.
Yeah.
Except that it is a complete paradigm shift. It demands for new skills. For example, if you look at the service engineer of an automobile, either a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler, what generally he does, I mean, at least our memory remembers, right?
Yeah.
What he does is he takes a hammer, he takes a wrench, and then he does certain things, and vehicle starts. But that's no longer the case now. You have onboard diagnostics even for two-wheelers. You need to have an understanding of computer. You need to have an understanding of how do you log the data, how to read the data, and accordingly how to reflash if it is required software, right? So with this, that is where I was more than convinced that the talent scarcity which exists now is only going to widen up, especially because the 100 years of automobile evolution that we have witnessed in the past, we are going to witness such kind of an evolution in the next 20 years in electric vehicles. And it's not just the problem for India. US, the Biden government is pumping in $175 billion, biggest problem, no enough workers. Europe, no skilled manpower to build electric cars. Japan, teenagers are joining in building the battery packs, right? So that's where I thought, okay, the problem is good, the problem is important, the problem is big, not just for India, but for the entire world. So why not solve it? So that is how this all began, Madhuri.
Very nice. I'm so glad to hear what motivated you to take this step and the impact you are creating. We are joined by Sandeep Kosaraju from GIZ. So welcome to this conversation. Hi, Sandeep. It's so nice to have you, having known you for so many years, and the wonderful work now you're doing from GIZ, specifically in relation to the discussion we are having about contributing to, the green sector, the green skills, where electric vehicles happen to be a part of it, and also your initiatives with Anert in Kochi. So it would be nice to know more about that as well. So before I get started by asking you, let me continue with Rajeev, asking him about the subsectors. So Rajeev, what are the subsectors in the EV industry where you see a lot of scope for employment, and where very important training initiatives are needed in terms of skills? Okay, so what would you identify, let's say, as top 3 or top 5?
Yeah, great question, Madhuri. And let me back this up with certain data. Okay. So we are talking about 19 million people being employed in the automotive sector right now, which is meeting the needs of automotive industry. Okay. Now, majority of this 19 million, I'm talking from an organized sector. Now, if at all you bring, unorganized sector also into context, that is roadside bakeries, etc., you can easily add probably another 5 to 10 million. Okay. Now, by 2030, understand this very, very carefully. By 2030, the target which the government of India is chasing is 30% of new electric sales, new vehicle sales, as well as the existing vehicle park to be electric. Okay. Which means it's an opportunity for India to emerge as a global manufacturing leader and global market for EVs. And at the same time, it is going to demand 10 million direct hands and 50 million indirect jobs to be working in the EV industry. Now, understand this very clearly.
Yeah, big number.
While the India as a country, as a nation, we churn out only 1.5 to 1.8 million engineers, right? Considering diploma and engineering together. Look at the demand, look at the supply, number one. Number two, all these existing 20 million people that are working in the automotive industry, as such, most of them are going to become redundant or irrelevant. Why? Because number one, you will not have engine, you don't have to have a gearbox, you will have oil filters, right? Air filters, etc. Majority of the combustion powertrains going to get obsolete. What does that mean? They need upskilling, not just a reskilling, right? They need to go to a different platform. So in a context like this, the entire value chain is a canvas for anybody to play. However, let me talk about few specific job roles that are really going to change, I would say, the outlook of the entire automotive and EV industry. The first one is service technicians. If you look at the companies right now, like for example, very recently, Bhavish Agarwal, the founder CEO of Ola Electric, he announced his highest ever sales since the launch of Ola Electric, right? Growth of 30% compared to last month. And he was saying that there can never be a better season than this, right? Now imagine, and then with FAME 1.0 and FAME 2.0 policy that is almost being exhausted, 10 million electric two-wheelers have already been addressed or injected into the market, again from the formal numbers. Now look at the unorganized informal numbers, the numbers would be even more.
Right.
But do we have enough if something goes wrong with these vehicles, be it a small wire being disconnected, be it the vehicle being discharged more than the limit it is supposed to do, be it a small motor that is a malfunction, right? Do we have enough talent to fix them? How many? I mean, how long will we depend upon the OEMs to address each of these vehicles? I was talking to one of my friends in Chennai, who is leading one of the companies in IIT Madras itself. So I was, because of the recent floods, I was talking to him. I was inquiring him how things were. He was telling me that his car got inundated underwater, and then the lead time given by the OEM is 5 months. Can you imagine? 5 months is what I asked why. Then they said, no, the entire garage is already completely filled with these kind of cars. It is full, and hence is the lead time. Now imagine the plight of two-wheelers, right? And then the quantity that we are talking about. So service technicians are really going to be the most sought after and in demand. Second thing is the manufacturing production guys, though majority of it is going to be automated, you still need to have nimble hands and skilled hands to be building these vehicles. Third and most important thing is sales and business development, because since we are building up a new technology,
Yeah.
it demands educating the people, right? Not just a mere sales, right? That I launch a product and then it gets sold. No, you need to educate people, right? So service, production, and sales and business development are really, really going to thrive the job market going forward.
Yeah, so these three are very important areas as we learned just now, and you gave a very good example about the floods, which actually, is a frequent thing in most of the cities in our country. Now, let me ask Sandeep from the GIZ perspective. Sandeep, as I understand, following the initiatives of GIZ for a long time, this is a very important core area for GIZ to make a difference. And initially, we also started discussing about the industry demand and the mismatch and the gap which is there. So now you being from GIZ, partnering the government of Kerala for this initiative, how are you all working together? What kind of collaboration is this, and what do we expect from this collaboration?
Yeah, wonderful, Madhuri. First of all, apologies, like I joined, a couple of minutes later. So coming to your question now, Madhuri ji, uh, so GIZ has a very strong mandate now to work on. We have recently, we updated our mandates to work on green skills, green sector. And particularly this project, we are talking about, it's called Indo-German Vocational Education and Training, IGVT, you know it.
Yeah.
And we have developed this, EV curriculum, on, electrical vehicles with IIT Bombay. Since the last, we took almost 2 years of time to develop this, because we got a beautiful theoretical handbook, and also a practical handbook as well, where all the experiments are also listed out. It's with Rajeev already. So we are working on this. We have implemented this for West Bengal already. The first state we were doing was West Bengal, and we have implemented this with Telangana now. Okay, in Telangana, I'm very happy to share you that almost 60 to 90 trainers from the polytechnics have participated in the program. Okay, and now we are launching it for Kerala. Kerala, because ANERT, the agency for new renewable energy training and all, from the government of Kerala, have been quite proactive, and happy to share you that it's the last cluster to be added in our project. Okay, the Kerala, because of the proactive initiative of CEO there, Mr. Narendra. This was the last cluster, and we are happy to onboard Rajeev from EV Masterclass. Along with him, we onboarded another trainer from the same organization, from Rajiv's organization, Shiv Prasad ji.
Just one point which just emerged from here. Maybe both of you can respond to this, starting with Rajeev.
Yeah.
You just spoke about the curriculum, the training, and the training of the trainer or the teachers who play a very important role.
So what we understood, and I think Rajeev was also briefing you, Madhuji. Before we launch it for the actual candidates on the ground, for IT candidates or polytechnics, we felt it very essential that we should train the trainers. And IGVT as a project, we believe in a lot of capacity development.
Yeah.
Okay, so we generally associate with the local industrial associations, industries, and then build the capacities for the trainers basically on the ground, so that these trainers can go and deliver it to the candidates. Essentially, for the electric vehicle industry right now, as Rajiv was pointing out, you find that a lot of trainers also don't have enough background into it.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Yeah. So Yeah, good. You brought this issue about the capacity building part of it and the trainers. So, Rajiv, how do you see the kind of situation? Let's say a couple of years down the line, now that you've started kind of aggressively, strategically, also putting your efforts around capacity building, training the trainers and things. So, do you think it will have an impact immediately, or how are they receiving this program, or has there been any pilot study, on based on which you can give us some inputs, because training the trainers and upskilling and all is absolutely essential. Otherwise, how will they train the students, the people who are going to take up these jobs? Yeah.
Now this is the era of electric vehicles.
Mm.
EVs are increasing. Climate change is being affected because of pollution. So the adoption of EVs is only going to increase. But still, the number of hands working on these electric vehicles is less. And the whole world looks at one call, only one country to solve this problem, and that's India. So I really appreciate the initiative by ZIZ, right? The federal body that is coming from a country which is known for its technical prowess, right? And special mention to Mr. Sandeep, Mr. Rodney, and Mr. Narendranath, who is the bureaucrat, the founder, the CEO of Anert, who has really brought it together, right? So the way this program is going to impart our impact is like this. As we are equipping and as we are training the trainers, what we expect is we at this time, we have just started as a pilot of 30 faculty, right? But we received the feedback such a way that some of the faculty already started to roll out this program for their students. They were able to recognize the tremendous opportunity this ecosystem has got and how they can mobilize their students. Right? I think the fire has begun, the spark has begun, and with players such as ZIZ and with leaders such as Sandeep and Mr. Rodney, etc., the fire is only going to spread faster. And very soon, India is definitely going to be the global market or global talent hub for EVs. So that's the bigger vision and the bigger plan that we see, Madhuri.
Yeah, that's very inspiring to hear about the larger vision. And definitely, I'm sure we are going to lead the world in this, with the kind of enthusiasm and energy all of you are bringing into the industry to prepare the youth. Now, one last point I would like to know from Sandeep. Sandeep, are you there? Can you please come on video?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah. So before we close, just to wrap up the importance of this from the point of view of the youth who would be, getting employed in this or trying to, try their hand at entrepreneurship also, because this provides a lot of entrepreneurship, because it's not just the vehicle, it's the battery also, which is equally important, that also creates a lot of opportunities. So Sandeep, because you're so familiar with the entire skilling and vocational ecosystem, if you look at the categories of youth, let's say those coming from ITIs, those coming from polytechnics, and those coming from engineering colleges, both boys and girls, what kind of jobs do you think they should be looking at, right now?
Madhuri, I think, that question should be posted to Rajeev.
Okay, either
And
of
already for Kerala, for the trainers,
yeah.
He has taken one session of 1-2 hours where he has shared with us all the job roles which are going to come in.
Okay.
And all the entrepreneurship opportunities which are going to come in.
Sure.
You should ask him. We have recently also had discussions that we should start some courses on battery recycling and refurbishing. What do you say, Rajiv? It's recycling.
Refurbishment of batteries and retrofitment of vehicles.
Yeah. So we have started discussion in GIZ, ourselves to do this, because it's a very much needed sector, Madhuriji. Electric vehicle, anyways, we are doing it, we launched it. But battery and, the recycling is very important. Okay. At present, for your lithium batteries, I think, Rajiv, if I'm not wrong, okay, you are the expert. If I'm not wrong, right now we don't have the ecosystem developed, the dealership.
Absolutely.
Development of battery, to take the batteries and do it. I'm not talking about lead acid batteries, Madhuriji. I'm talking about lithium ion batteries. Okay. Currently, the OEMs and the service stations, they have to take it and, they have to repair it or, refurbish it. But having come to your question, Rajiv, I think, you should share the kind of, job roles you have shared with
Yeah.
Kerala also,
Yeah,
entrepreneurship.
yeah, definitely. As we are just talking about electric vehicles and service technician as these job roles, GIZ is also able to envisage that in the next 5 to 6 years, most of these vehicles that are on the roads right now will cross their first life of the battery. So those batteries will have to enter into their second life. Second life could be stationary
Exactly.
applications for inverters, etc. Or most of these can always be recycled, right? The metals can always be extracted and then they can be pumped into manufacturing of new products. I think such kind of a visualization and vision and ability to see through, I think I must definitely give credit to GIZ and in specific to Sandeep, because he didn't mention it right now, but then Sandeep is also part of some of the conglomerates and then the societies and the discussion forums where they are talking about how do we build programs for this. And in fact, we are thankful that they have also involved EV Masterclass to lead them into this. So when we are talking about the refurbishment of the batteries, recycling of the batteries, right, which we have been only speaking right now, and now when we see that coming into picture with more sustainable manufacturing, etc., happening in the future, there are going to be ample opportunities across the value chain, be it ITI, be it diploma, be it engineering. For example, ITS and diplomas might be the hands that manufacture. Engineering and above might be the brains that design, right? And then again, irrespective of the qualification, if one has the skill to be able to communicate, sell, and develop the business, again, they can do everything that is required, right? So it's a great thing to start with diploma and ITI, but yeah, it will very soon catch up with the engineering also.
Yeah, I think the word skill here is very important. As you just said, irrespective of what background they come from, if they have the passion and the skill, I'm sure they can make a difference in all the three areas that you mentioned, that is production, the business development, and also the service technicians. I think these are the exciting areas for a lot of youth to explore this sector. So is there anything else you wish to share, through our channel about...
Rajiv, I think you didn't share anything about entrepreneurship opportunity, she has asked.
Yeah, okay. EVs are actually very, very simple apparatus or machines or vehicles to manufacture. Okay. All you need to have is 1,000 square feet room, and then you can actually build a two-wheeler or a three-wheeler. In fact, some of the companies which have started and are big right now have started like that. Okay. That is number one, which means the entrepreneurial opportunities for if somebody aspires to build an EV, it is possible. It doesn't take hundreds and thousands of acres, unlike the regular automotive industry. The second thing is, look at it this perspective. Indians are not actually accustomed to DIY. We don't do things all ourselves, right? Even if it were to drilling a nail, what we prefer is we pick up urban company or some other thing and say, hey, please come and then drill a nail, right? Now imagine this. These electric vehicles are basically electronic and electrical products on wheels, right? And because of the wear and tear, what happens? A wire might come out here, there could be a small error, or something might come out of the connectors, etc. Definitely, the end customer is not going to touch it. And in fact, the OEMs also have scared them very well that, hey, if you touch anything, you'll be out of warranty, right? Now imagine this. If I were completely accustomed, right, understanding how to service this vehicle, if I have the right diagnostics tools with me, I can become a multi-brand bike or multi-brand electric vehicle service entrepreneur. I can set up a small office. I can prepare. I can go tie up with these OEM companies and then say, hey, I know that the demand is so full. You don't have to call all your customers, right? Because if it is a two-wheeler, regular two-wheeler, you can always push and take. But for an electric vehicle, if you push, what happens is the motor gets damaged. The motor needs to be only powered by electricity, not by mechanical force, right? So there are so many things that needs to come. That means the service needs to be at the doorstep, right? Now imagine if the people who have access to these diagnostics tools, access to these companies, customers, etc. All they need to do is they go and then they just fix a wire, they just fix a connector, and then they can charge 500, 1,000, 2,000 rupees, right? All being a self-micro entrepreneur by themselves, right? So I think there are so many such kind of entrepreneurial opportunities, especially in tier 2, tier 3 cities. People don't have to come to tier 1 cities and metros. They
Oh,
can be there.
wonderful. You are mentioning like, tier 2 and tier 3 because that's where like, we have majority of the population and that's where we should be, probably concentrating.
Yeah. Yeah, so we see a great potential for entrepreneurship for small entrepreneurs, to form the ecosystem
Yeah.
which is going to support these vehicles in every possible way. So that's again another amazing thing that we see around the EV vehicles, the electric vehicle industry, which is really coming up in a big way. And I think the adoption rates are also quite fast, right? It's quite
True.
amazing to see the kind of acceptance we have and the government initiatives also to encourage the sales of these vehicles. So is there any other point you wish to mention, Rajeev, before we close this conversation?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you very much, Madhuri, for bringing me onto this platform, and my special thanks and appreciation to ZIZ platform and especially Sandeep and Mr. Rodney's team for this initiative. The only call that I want to give to the industry from here is, hey, you know what? It's time we join hands and then make India not just look after our own service, our own production, our own things, right? Probably there is a common goal that we all need to pursue to make India the global hub for EV talent. And that can only happen when players like ZAZ, OEMs, companies like ours, organizations like National Skills Network, governments, when all of these come together with that single aim, I think it is absolutely possible. So probably from this platform, I would encourage and all such kind of players who are all there to partner. We are always open to partner with you, to support you, to encourage you, and then we are happy to welcome you to be part of this mission of making India the powerhouse of EV talent. Come join and then let's make that dream a reality. Thank you very much, Madhuri.
Thank you, Rajeev. What about you, Sandeep?
No,
What
like,
your closing message?
you already listened to him from my attention. Like, wonderful to have this conversation.
Yeah, so I would like to summarize it this way, that I think all of us are very keen on the greenness of the economy, and we want to transform our, the kind of contribution we make, and, towards keeping things green, and also the COP conference which is going on, the message coming from there. So in that context, I think, as you already said, being a very, having a vast population and also to convert it, into an advantage, like with the demographic dividend, I think we are all set to transform India gradually into a global talent hub for the EV industry, with a lot of very important initiatives like these coming up. So thank you so much,
And
both of
Madhuriji,
you.
I like to mention here,
Yeah.
you're doing wonderful work, Madhuriji. Okay,
Thank you.
I've known you since the Ministry of Skill Development formed. I was a young professional there. We're only few people like working on all the ecosystems there in the ministry. And since then, I have known you. Okay, you're doing such amazing work, and without any expectations. Okay, uh, you have been amazing, Madhuriji. Okay, and I've seen you grow from initial stage to now where all the world agencies also, not even India, the world agencies in the skill development follow you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.